Lynn is a 25-year-old young girl with long hair, a delicate face, but her eyes always show sadness. She grew up in poverty, without a father or mother, and has lived independently since she was 16 years old. Lynn works at a small restaurant on the outskirts of the city, where regular customers are single middle-aged workers. One weekend afternoon, while Lynn was carrying plates of food, an older man walked into the restaurant. Mr. Min. The man had a dignified appearance. His hair was white but carefully combed. The expensive suit he wore was in complete contrast to the simple space of the restaurant, attracting all eyes. Everyone in the restaurant turned to him, including Lynn. Mr. Min sat down at a small table near the window. His eyes were slightly worried but full of composure. When Lynn walked over to take the order, he looked at her attentively as if we knew her from before. "What is the little girl's name?" Mr. Min asked in a deep but warm voice. "That's a mystery. I'm Lynn. What do you want?" Lynn replied, feeling a bit embarrassed by this special attention. "Just call me Mr. Min. Give me a bowl of pho and a cup of hot tea." During this time, while eating, Mr. Min constantly observed Lynn. He paid attention to the way she worked. Even though she was tired, Lynn always maintained a welcoming attitude to the customer. This made him even more curious about this young girl. After eating, Mr. Min pulled out a luxurious wallet, put down an amount of money double the price of the dish, and said, "The rest is thank you for your dedication." Lynn awkwardly refused, but Mr. Min smiled lightly and left the shop without saying a word. No more words. In the following days, Mr. Min continued to come to the restaurant, each time choosing to sit at a table near the window. Gradually he and Lynn began to talk more. Lynn felt the warmth from Mr. Min, a lonely but knowledgeable and experienced man. He told her about his past as a businessman, successful, had built a career from scratch, but had no family nearby. One late evening when the shop was about to close, Mr. Min called Lynn and suddenly asked Lynn, "Do you believe in fate?" "No." Lynn looked at him with surprised eyes, not knowing how to answer. Mr. Min continued, "Two don't have much time left, but I want to find someone who can take care of me. In my last years of life, I feel like you are the person I'm looking for." The proposal came unexpectedly, leaving Lynn stunned. At first she thought it was a joke, but when she looked into Mr. Min's serious eyes, she knew he wasn't kidding. Lynn spent the whole night tossing and turning, thinking. Outside, the sound of the rain falling seemed to blend into the endless thoughts in her head. Lynn did not deny that this was her chance to escape from life. Living a miserable life at present, but what makes her agree is not because of material things, but because of inner loneliness. Mr. Min's eyes, a feeling she once understood very well. Finally, Lynn nodded at the proposal. The wedding was held quickly and without any ceremony, with only the participation of a few of Mr. Min's acquaintances. In the curious eyes and mixed curtains of the neighbors, Lynn put on a simple wedding dress but pristine, entering a new life with her rich husband. Nearly 50 years apart from her, however, from the moment Lynn stepped into Mr. Min's villa, she felt a strangeness, not only from the house was too large to be necessary, but also from the eyes of the maids, who looked at her with a look of pity mixed with worry, as if they knew something that she did not know. On the first day of entering Mr. Min's villa, Lynn could not help but be overwhelmed by the distance from the splendid Hoa. The villa located on a small hill far from the residential area, surrounded by rusty green trees and side walls. The outside is covered with shiny marble. Inside is a large space, with classic, expensive furniture on the ceiling, a sparkling crystal chandelier, the light reflecting throughout the living room like a picture far away from Hoa. However, Lynn cannot feel the warmth from here. Even though the house is fully furnished suspiciously, it exuded an indescribable coldness, as if every corner of the wall, every hallway was hiding a secret. When Lynn started to get used to her new life, Mr. Min gave her some rules. In particular, which you must obey. 1. Do not enter the room on the second floor at the end of the hallway. 2. Do not ask about his past, especially about his ex-wife, Ba. Every night, she had to lock the bedroom door herself, and was not allowed to leave the room before 6 a.m. Lynn found it difficult to understand these rules, but because she wanted to keep peacefully, she did not ask further, but curiosity began to arise in her heart, especially about the forbidden room on the second floor. After only a few days, Lynn realized that this villa was not as quiet as it seemed. Every night when everything fell silent, she heard strange sounds coming from the second floor. These are small noises like footsteps, rattling of windows, sometimes even whispers whispering, as if someone was talking. One night when she couldn't sleep, Lynn gently opened the door and walked out into the hallway. The cold air made her shiver, the sound of the wind whistling through the windows made everything even more creepy. Terrified, she followed the stairs leading to the second floor, where the forbidden room was located, but as soon as she arrived at the top hallway, she heard Mr. Min calling loudly from below. "Lynn, why are you here at this hour?" His stern voice made Lynn startled and turned around. Mr. Min stood at the foot of the stairs, his eyes cold. But there was a clear discomfort hidden in it. "My nephew couldn't sleep, so he decided to go get water." He was confused, replied, "Go back to your room right away. Don't make me repeat it." Lynn felt something was wrong, but she didn't dare disobey her words and just silently returned to her room. In the following days, Lynn began to notice something strange. Not only from Mr. Min, but also from the people working in the house. They often looked at her with loving eyes, as if she wanted to say something but didn't dare. One morning while Lynn was sitting in the kitchen having breakfast, the old housekeeper quietly approached and whispered, "Young lady, you have to be careful, this house. This is not as simple as it seems." What she said made Lynn surprised. She shook her head and did not say anything more, just whisper, "Don't let curiosity kill you." The lady's vague words made Lynn even more worried, but when she asked more, she immediately fell silent and left as if afraid of being discovered by that eye. One afternoon while cleaning Mr. Min's office, Lynn accidentally found a small wooden box, placed it inside. The drawer was locked, but Mr. Min forgot to put the key. Curious, Lynn opened it and discovered that inside was an old photo of a woman. The woman in the photo was beautiful, with gentle but open eyes. Looking sad, Lynn turned the photo over and read a line on the back, saying, "Goodbye to my beloved wife." At that moment, Mr. Min entered the room, saw Lynn holding the box. His eyes immediately became cold. "I let you touch my things," Mr. Min said in a low but threatening voice. "Child, I just did it by accident. I'm sorry." Lynn quickly put the box down and stepped back. Mr. Min didn't say anything more. "Just go ahead and pick up the box, close it and lock the drawer. Be careful, this is a thing of the past. You don't need to worry about it," he said, then turned and left, leaving the link with a series of questions in his mind. That night while Lynn was lying in the room, she heard the noise from the second floor again, but this time, the noise was gone. Were rattling sounds, or whispers, but clear footsteps. She opened the door slightly, looked outside, and caught a glimpse of a woman in a white dress, walking through the second floor hallway. Her heart like stopping beating. That woman was she looking at it wrong? She decided, the next morning she would find a way to do it. Clarified everything. But Lynn did not know that from that moment, her life in this villa would take a dangerous and terrifying turn. That night, after seeing a shadow of a person, a woman, on the second floor, I couldn't sleep. The image of the shadow in a white dress kept haunting her head. The sound of the wind whistling outside the window and the shadows of trees falling on the wall seemed to make the villa even more gloomy. She decided that she had to find out the truth, no matter how dangerous it was. In the morning, the next day, Mr. Min left the villa to meet a business partner. This was a rare opportunity for Lynn to act. She waited. Everyone in the house was busy sneaking up, going up to the second floor and approaching the forbidden room at the end of the hallway. The door was tightly locked, but Lynn had noticed before that the lady, the old housekeeper, often kept the key. In the kitchen drawer, Lynn found the key without any difficulty. Returning to the room, she unlocked